Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, first of all, to the Chandler Center for the Arts in Chandler, Arizona, for virtually hosting this demonstration tonight. My name is Liz Harler. I am the general manager of Les Ballets Trockadero de Monte Carlo, fondly known as the world's foremost all-male comic ballet company for those of you who may not be quite so familiar with the company. The Trocks, who have been around since 1974, perform loving parodies of classical ballets all around the world, with men performing all of the roles, including traditionally female roles on point and on travesti. This evening, we're going to be providing a little bit of a peek into what it takes for our dancers to get ready in time for one of our performances. And I'm happy to introduce to you the star of this evening, Trockadero dancer Joshua Thake. Josh has been with the Trocks since 2011, so if you saw our last performance in Chandler, you would have seen him performing a wide range of roles as Eugenia Repelskii and Jacques Daniels. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Josh, be it makeup tips or questions about life with the Trockadero, please drop your questions into the comments and I'll try to make sure that everything gets answered. Now I am going to back out really quickly so that you can see Josh, but don't be surprised if you hear me pop in and ask him some questions. So take it away, Josh.
Thanks, Liz. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I hope everybody is staying as sane as possible during these interesting times. So I'm just going to give you a glimpse into what it takes. Usually we get about an hour and a half to an hour, roughly, to get ready for the show. So I've already glued down my eyebrows. That takes a lot of time. So I usually just use Elmer's glue. Pretty easy, you know. And then I usually brush back the brow and then glue this way so that it gets the underside of the eyebrow. And then I go ahead and I brush it back and I smooth it out. And then I usually just put a basic moisturizer on and some liquid foundation. Right now I'm using MAC. I have a very humble selection of makeup right now, but we are so lucky to have sponsorships like MAC Cosmetics and Krylon Cosmetics. And I have all of my foundation is basically comprised of those two companies. And as they say, you need a great foundation in order to have a stable performance. So we are starting with my MAC Full Coverage Foundation. I'm using an NC20 to match the skin. I've gotten a little bit of sunburn, a little bit of sun, but usually the lights are on so bright that you don't really see a lot of the imperfections. So, they always say paint for the back row. You can paint for the Hubble telescope, just, and you just kind of slather it on, just kind of, they usually refer to this as beating your face, because it's literally what you're doing is you're just taking this lovely makeup sponge and you're just beating your face. So you just kind of get it all even there. And then you can work it in on top of where the glue is. Usually you get this type of mushroom brow, it's referred to, because then you can if you look at the underside of the mushroom, you can see where the seams are. So if you don't look too close, right? Because then you get like, oh, there's the mushroom. So that's okay. I feel like I'm a fun guy. So, you just got to roll with the punches. So you just kind of get it in, sometimes it just all gets sweated out, it becomes, the more makeup that you sweat during the show, the less makeup you have to wash off after the show, right? So, don't be afraid of more is more. So just slather it on. Like I said, we usually only get maybe like an hour, 45 minutes. That's from start to finish. But there's kind of a running joke where kind of a multitasker, and sometimes we have a show and then we'll travel really early in the morning the next day. So sometimes you have to reorganize something, or you have to finish one last minute task to make the next day easy as well. So it's all about every show is different. Sometimes you're performing a different role that you didn't know you were performing until maybe the day of the show. So there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to working for a small group like this. So I usually do a wet dry routine. So I usually start with the wet foundation, which is the full coverage, and then I'll go in with a Krylon, and this is a brand spanking new one actually, and this is the V20. So it's a little bit dark, but for today's purposes, you just need a little bit. And as I put it on, it kind of resembles as if I were going to be kind of auditioning to be some sort of makeup stylist for The Lion King. But there's nothing wrong with that. The Lion King's a fabulous show. So I just kind of take a little brush here. Again, these are brushes that I bought that I thought that I would use this coming season, but we all know what happened. So yeah, so I just kind of just draw a line to establish the liquid contour lines. And then I usually go down my nose a little bit. And you can get, I usually don't see this, but this is just for kicks. I wonder why, this might be the reason why I break out on my forehead, because I'm just constantly putting this type of makeup that you don't really see, but you know, it shades it. And if I position the wig in such a way, you see it creates a nice illusion under the stage lights, which is really nice. And then I just kind of get under my chin a little bit on the jawline. And then I can even take it up, and I can start to, I really try to construct the shape of the contour with the initial, excuse me. I had some late night coffee, so it's a, forgive the belching. So, so yeah, so just going in above the crease here, and then you can just, I take the pointy end of this here makeup wedge, and then I just kind of tap it in. And then you want to highlight, this is about highlighting a new type of bone structure, or at least accentuating your present bone structure, which is really, you know, you can really have fun with it. You know, don't be shy with contour. Because then this could be a quick look for, you know, going to Trader Joe's or doing some more of your essential shopping. You know, you don't get out as much these days. So it's really important to really put your best face forward. So when you're shopping for that produce, at least this part, fabulous. So you just kind of dab it in. And then the next part is a really exciting part. It's the blending with the Studio Fix powder, which I love from MAC. And after I get it all blended in, it's almost like you didn't put anything on at all. So you can just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna put another swipe in there. Or no, I'm gonna put 2 swipes in there. And then you just tap it in, yeah. And then you take your fabulous Studio Fix powder. Ta-da. Again, this is the NC20. Again, this is maybe not the color that works at present, but it's what I have at the moment. So it's what we're working with right now. Sometimes it's about what you have and how can you utilize what you have. And you'll see with my modest collection of makeup that I use, I don't go for, just because it says eyeshadow or eyeliner, doesn't mean you can't use it for other purposes. It's just a tool. It's just a tool in the art of makeup. And so many people there's so many different creative people out there that are really doing immaculate things when it comes to makeup and utilizing this art form to really express themselves in ways that are, that's really incredible. So if you get a chance, if you're a makeup enthusiast, Don't hesitate to look on YouTube for other makeup tutorials. There are plenty of brilliant people out there that are very well versed when it comes to this thing. And yeah, so this is so like I was saying, I utilize Krylon and MAC right now for my foundation, and now I have a mixture of Kiko Cosmetics, NYX Cosmetics, and Arbonne Cosmetics, which is a vegan health and wellness brand. So I utilize this. This is their eyeshadow, but you can see it has like a lovely, lovely copper with a lovely brown. So I just utilize that, and I use that for my contour. So I'll just kind of go in. Oh my gosh, you know, it always depends. Dale, it always depends. The question is, what roles will you dance? You know, it always depends. The show is always different. So sometimes I'll dance Von Rothbard, and then I'll have a quick change, and then I'll have to do a female role in the second act, and then I come back, and then maybe I have to switch back to a boy or maybe a girl. But it's just, it depends on the show. Yeah, I don't know if that probably doesn't answer your question, because it's there's so many variables that it's kind of hard to tell you. So after the studio fix is kind of applied a little bit, we can go ahead and apply a little bit more, because why not? We're having fun with makeup, right? So just gonna take a little bit more, dab it in, because you know it can get so hot. So you want to layer it like a Rembrandt painting. You want it to be, the more makeup I put on, the closer I am to the audience, right? So there's the perspective. Blessed with a Barbara Streisand like profile with the nose. Lovely. In drag, I was kind of compared to my grandma on my mother's side. Her name actually is Dorothy. There's the ruby slippers there. Because everyone just clicked their heels and were sent home. So apply that. Then afterwards, we do a lovely part called cooking or baking. You're so skilled with the brush. Who taught you how to do makeup? Well, you know, I started doing makeup actually when I started doing drag in San Francisco, and I was actually I would share the bathroom at a gay bar called Truck Bar. For, oh my gosh, there were maybe sometimes there were at most 6 performers sharing a small bathroom, and there was maybe like one sized mirror, and so we were all like looking over each other to try to, you know, finish our face. And I was working at a Starbucks at the time, and I would close the Starbucks, and then I would speed walk. I was living, like I said, San Francisco, and I was speed walking down after I would close the Starbucks, and then make it in time for what was called Gorilla Drag, which was the second show in my drag mother Suppository Spellings show, which started after maybe 11 drag time. So think of Tico time, but then add another hour or so. So I'm using right now to kind of cook, I'm using the Dermacolor Fixing Powder, which is also available at Krylon and various other retailers near you. So you just kind of take it and you just really apply it. Some people like to use a big powder puff if you want to be really dramatic with it. Yeah, you know, I don't think that I'm that skilled with the brush, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the compliment. That's really nice of you. You just kind of have fun with it and then see where it takes you. So we're just going to let that cook for a second, and then we're going to start in on more contour, because like I said, you can never have enough contour. And we're going to utilize the same Arbonne eyeshadow palette for a lovely, lovely contour. And then we're just going to go ahead and take a little bit from the copper side. I like to suck in my cheeks, because then you can really feel where the cheekbone kind of goes in, so you can kind of accentuate that. Some people like to use like a piece of paper, and then if you really want a sharp angle, but I'm more of a go with the flow type person. So I just kind of shade it in with just a smaller brush, and I feel like it gives a more mellow type of effect. So I just kind of ease it in. You can go into the soccer troops and like this, you know, make your little duck face. And then just shade it in. I don't go all the way. Some people go all the way to underneath to create this type of thing. If you want to do, I mean, if you wanted to do some sort of like chipmunk cheeks, you could just like throw some cotton balls or marbles in your mouth if you want, I guess. If you have a lisp, I hear that helps with speech, with the way that you can talk. So then I just go into the bridge of my nose with a little bit of contour here. I get a phase where I really love Judy Garland. So I would do some sort of like button nose. But, you know, the illusion only works when you're head on. But then as soon as I turn to the side, it's like, oh, that's not the same. So I kind of don't do that anymore. But, you know, sometimes the mood strikes and you gotta go with it. So then I just follow that same line that I was doing with the liquid foundation or the liquid contour. And then I just go underneath. And all of this is just about building layers. So you build your foundation. Through a series of layers. And then you can go in and you can refine those layers. Or you can go back in and you can just edit it all. There are some times where if we don't have enough time, I will just omit things from and then just do the, not the bare minimum, but just enough to give some sort of an illusion. So then I go in with a darker brown color, right? And then I just go underneath at the bottom right here, you know? And then it gives a nice ombre effect. And some people wait until the end to do this. You know, makeup is very personal. It changes. Drag is personal. It's just an expression utilizing medium known as makeup. So just have fun with it. And then I go back in on the top here, shade it in, even though nobody sees it, but I know it's there. And then you just kind of go in on the jaw. You don't want to do too much because then it just looks like 5 o'clock shadow. And believe me, there are times where we perform so frequently that it's, oh, you know, I don't want to, it feels as though somebody's lacerating my face or somebody took sandpaper and just like scraping the few top layers from my face. So there are some times where, you know, there might be a little bit of stubble, but that's just so my face can repair itself. It is not fabulous. So then I come in, I have the NYX ombre blush. Ooh. So I just go in and then I just, because, you know, sometimes you just need a little blush to feel better, you know? Like I said, I have a really awkward sunburned tan line from tank top wearing, doing various activities outside, but still being cognizant of, you know, it's family time. I'm not going to inundate. I might be shirtless now, but I'm not. I try to just, you know, have decorum while doing yard work. But then you just suffer with the tan lines. So you just go in with a blush, little ombre. Just go ahead and just, you know, just a little. And then shade it in at the top. You can come in again. Just for fun. So then I go in, and this is what I mean about utilizing other things for, utilizing things that maybe are not seen as the specific thing that you would utilize it for, but it does the job. So I go back to the same V20 Krylon TV stick. And then I just go in and I find my brush here in this little makeup brush bag. And then I just find the straight edge brush. And then and don't stress about the brows. They're sisters, not twins. If you keep fussing over how perfect or imperfect they are, you're going to run out of time. And you still have to do your temps du pliés before you get on the stage. So time is of the essence. So I just kind of trace along where my natural brow is. It follows the same line, it just raises. And so when I have a facial expression, it moves like it was my own eyebrow. But when I first started doing drag, I actually would put it all the way, it was like way up here. So, and then I would wear a wig with a bang. So you don't even really see it. So it's like, what's the point? So I just kind of I go in with the brush here, and then I just kind of tailor it in. Let's see. We have another lovely question. Thank you, Judy, for your question. Is your makeup different for a boy role? Ooh, that's a great question. So I try to do an androgynous type face. And then again, it also depends on the show. So if we have a show where I say I do Von Rothbart and then I have to jump to a girl, I'll do a more tailored Von Rothbart face in preparation for going for the girl role. So yeah, but ideally, yes, I love to see a performer that wants to do the extra effort and have a little bit more stress added to their show, but to give the type of illusion and differentiation for the audience member. I think it's very important. Great question. So you can already see that one is more rounded. It's like I'm already doing, I guess because I can't do this with this eye, that I just, yeah, this one's more rounded, spiky, but you know, sisters, not twins. So we just go in and we do a lovely rounded eyebrow shape. I guess that one's rounded, that one's spiky, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles today, and that's okay. That's okay. Whatever you need to do, you should do that. All right, and then we do a lovely finishing up of this brow here. Yes, yes, yes. Then we're going to go to another lovely time, which is utilizing eye pencils. I love using eye pencils for or lip pencils for eye makeup, or even this is just an eyeliner, but I love using eyeliner for my crease. Some people just go straight for the powder, but I love the effect that it gives when you just draw it on with a bold color. And I've been really into this whole primary color wheel. So I'll utilize blues, reds, and yellows all in the same face. Actually inspired, shout out to Olga Spozovar, Robert Carter, who really, if you want to talk about like inspiration too on the job and utilizing color at its utmost, that brilliant artist really showcases their ability of utilizing so many different colors and making them into a beautiful medley. So then I'll just go in and then I'll just buff it out and I'll just blend it in a little bit. There we go. And I can go over this again. And like I said, I love doing a primary color wheel. So I'll do blue into red and then utilize the yellow into, but I also love doing a little bit, this is a trend that's going on, it's been going on for a couple of years now, I've seen it, and utilizing gold in the brow. And I think it gives a fabulous effect when it comes to under the light and just general blending. So I'll just take another brush here and then I go into my Arbonne palette here. It's been well used, but you can see which one I favor, the gold. And then I just go in with the gold and then I'll just kind of go over the brown, yeah. And I'll blend it in a little bit from where I started so that it gives the illusion that it's going straight from my skin. And then it goes straight to the brow. Hair raising. Oh, and it just, see, oh, it gives a nice little shimmer. Who doesn't love a little shimmer? Oh. Get your shimmer. Life's too short to not have shimmer. So then I utilize, I'm going in with a Kiko Milano 517 burgundy or maroon to finish off that crease. And then I'll just kind of go in. Doesn't have to be perfect because it can all be blended out later. And then I just draw it down there. There we go. And then I'll take the same one and then I'll blend it up. And blend it out and blend it all around. It'll be like the Wonka Vader of blending, sideways, diagonal ways, slant ways, up, down, side, side. And so then I just blend it in, yeah. This is there's a multitude of blending. There's always blending, blend, blend, blend. And then they just kind of fade into each other. Then, then I go back. Where's my lovely TV stick from Krylon? I have the 70 TV sticks, which is basically white. And then I go back in And then I'll just grab another brush here from my fancy bag. I wonder which one I'm going to pick. Which one is it going to be? Ooh, that's a lovely one. So then I just go in and I'll go on top to give a little highlight. And right now is the time where I start thinking about, you know, the order of the show, right? Do I have a new role that's happening? Or is there a new spacing that I need to be aware of? Do I have a new partner? Am I partnering somebody new? What are we going to get for dinner after the show? You know, so many important questions. So then I go underneath, and I love doing this. I love highlighting underneath it. Don't forget, you're great. I go underneath and I highlight here underneath on the eyelid, starting from the inside and then continuing onto the eyelid. Yeah. So, and this is what I mean. You can layer. So as I put it on top of this dry layer, it has a more boom effect. Yeah. So then I go onto the other side and then I just do a repeat on the other lovely side. And what's great is that it really accentuates and opens up your eye. So from an audience perspective, you see more. It's a definite eye opener. And so then you go here, yeah. So, and you can do the layering of the crease to the highlight, yeah. I also utilize this for underneath it when I start putting on the eyeliner in just a tick. So you'll be able to see that. Here we go. Maybe I'll go all the way today. Yeah, we'll go all the way to the end. That way, when you put other color on top of the white, because it's a WH, will go, the other color will just pop out, which is just so fabulous. I love that. So then you can go back in over where you color block, and you can put another line here to really accentuate that crease. And wouldn't that be fabulous? So then I go in with the ombre blush, yeah. And then I personally like to put color too underneath the eye too. I feel like it gives it a really dramatic effect and just overall unifying for. And you can take a big old brush and apply that. It really brushes are fun. You know, there's so many different types of brushes, and you know they have specific purposes. But just because they are made for a specific purpose doesn't mean you can't utilize them in other ways. Don't be shy about experimenting, because that's what makeup is all about. I guess the only difficulty was if you were to take like a fan brush, and then if you want to apply foundation with a fan brush, that might be kind of difficult because the bristles are not that, you know, it's not that thick. So, you know, that might not be the best choice, but try it. Who knows? You won't know unless you try it. So don't be afraid, because you can always wash it off and start it again. So like I said, I like doing this because it really gives a nice blushed effect for under the eyes. You don't have to worry about, you know, dark circles, because you're just covering it up with more makeup. So that's totally okay. So then I'm going to go back in, right? And I'm going to utilize the same V20 TV stick. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to draw underneath, or on top of rather, the white, so that you can really start to see the
Josh, we have a quick
Yes.
question about how do you keep your brushes clean on the road when you're on the road for so long?
Hi, Joanna. Thanks for your question. Thank you, Liz, keeping me on top of things. So, yeah, you know, it's a really interesting question, because there are some times when I literally don't wash my brushes, and I should be better about that. But that's, you know, full disclosure, honesty. That's, yeah. You can utilize I love utilizing hotel soap. You know, it's free. It's right there. I've seen people that have an actual piece, a plastic piece that has, it's perforated and it has studs on it, and it's easy to clean the brush. I've also seen, Christmas is coming, and it's, you put it, and it's almost like a drill bit. And you might have seen it advertised on Facebook. But I've been really intrigued about that to see how that works. Yeah, great question. Thanks, Joanna. I hope all the melons are growing well in, yeah, I hope all the melons are growing well. I finally got some baby watermelon that finally decided to show up. So I went, yay! But I look forward to planting those Golden Crunch cantaloupes next season. So what do we have next? We are blending, we are blending, we are blending. So I'm going to go and I'm going to utilize that blue, that fabulous blue. When did you start doing drag, and what was the San Fran drag scene like? Oh, that's such an interesting question. So I started doing drag, actually. I was working at a Starbucks in San Fran, and one of my coworkers was like, I love Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland, and they were like, oh, well, there's a Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland tribute night coming up at the Cinch, which was a gay bar, which was probably 3 blocks from where I was working in San Francisco at the time. So I actually went, and I made my Mine Hair costume from Cabaret for Halloween that year, actually. I was still attending San Francisco Ballet School at the time. And I just did it. And then after that performance, I started getting booked for shows. The San Francisco drag scene is eclectic. There's so many different types of performance art that goes on in that city. It's an incredible medley of brilliant activists and other personalities that are really boundless and so overt and unapologetically themselves that it's inspirational. Great question. And I am so grateful for my time there. Let's see what else we're doing. We're doing eyeliner after doing a little bit more of this powder. So we're going to blend out the top. We're going to use a little bit more white, and we're going to go in here and just kind of blend that down on the top here. Yeah. So then we go in and we kind of shade that in. We can go back in and you can always add. But at this point, if you take away and we're running on a time crunch, ooh, that's a mistake. There have been several times where I put on a face and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and then I have to take everything off, and then it's like, oh, cross your fingers. Let's hope we can get to the stage on time. Again, full disclosure. But sometimes I like to put on my lips to get a little sense of, what the finished product is going to be. It inspires me to finish faster. So I generally just kind of I love a Cupid's bow. I love a Cupid's bow lip. I don't overdraw so dramatically. I just follow the top of my natural lip, and then I just round it to the base of the top. And then I hollow it on the same. And now is the time when probably I start getting notified that it's half hour to show, and then the order of the show. And
Yes, Josh, I was just about to give you your half-hour call, actually, so you are right on schedule.
Hey, you know what? I got the nickname for the White Rabbit because I was always just almost late. So it's good that I am on time for once. So I finish up the, like I said, I overdraw a little bit. And again, you don't have to be too persnickety. Huh? You just you can always edit if you need to. So then I'll just kind of draw the lips so that you kind of get a sense of that. I can go back in and I can intensify the color here if I want. And allude to where I want to wing, like Amy Winehouse, do a lovely cat eye wing for the liner. This is a liner I got actually at a store called Don Quixote in Japan. And it's called Beautiful Liner by Geico Monte. And I mean, the kanji is so tiny on this little label, you wouldn't necessarily, maybe you'd be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. There's a little kanji. So I go underneath, I just pull here. Another great thing about putting blush here is that I don't feel bad about, I can just pull it. And look, it's already got color on it, so I don't have to worry about, messing it up. So I just pull it here, and then I try to avoid my eyelashes. And then I'll just draw the liner there. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can. Mm-hmm. So then I'll pull here, and then I'll tug it up so that I have a flat surface to paint the other liner here. And this is just the first time doing the liner before doing the pigment, and then I'll go over it again with the liner. It seems redundant, I know. And then I'll go all the way to the tip so that accentuates that. And then I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll do that other part after I do the pigment. And then I'll go back and I'll do it with this eye here. So, and like I said before too, whenever I get half-hour call, it's always a mad dash. There are so many times where I don't start my face until hour before the show, but there have been several times where it's half-hour before the show and I just started my face. And sometimes we multitask. We're a small, tight-knit group. We're constantly restaging old classics for future tours while we're on the road. It makes the most sense to utilize the time when you have it. And when you have access to a stage, it's the perfect time to, practice all of those new works that we're going to take inevitably to another city. Oh my gosh, what is your favorite role? Oh, Debbie, thanks for that question. That's such a great question. I most recently got to perform the lead girl in Tarantella, and that was the most rewarding role, technically speaking, and the most exhausting role physically. So I would say that that's my favorite role as far as technical prowess ballerina. Favorite guy role? I'm going to get back to you about the favorite guy role, Debbie, but I'm thinking about it. It's percolating in the old noggin. So I'm just going to finish this eyeliner here. Yeah. All right.
Josh,
Yes.
we did have a question a little bit earlier about your makeup. Connor asked, he said that obviously your makeup is very drag influenced, but is there anything else like standard ballet makeup or any other sorts of makeup that influence your style?
That's an interesting question. I think that the style. Thank you for your question, Connor. I don't have a solid answer for you other than it's an expression of an ever evolving osmosis that has happened in the course of my adult life. So I would say, universally speaking, I'm influenced by most people that wear makeup. So that includes everyday makeup, female, just day makeup that somebody might wear, or maybe a news anchor on like a news network might wear. They're very drag. And I'm really inspired by old Hollywood. So I guess, and actually, whenever I draw this or when I highlight underneath in my waterline with the white, which can cause some tears, but that's art for you. If it doesn't create a little tear, then what's the point, really? So you add a little bit of white underneath it, and then it just it pops the eye. This is something that after being introduced to Judy Garland at a young age, I started to look at all of her the makeup that she would wear, and she really utilized the white underneath the eye. So I guess I'm gonna say Judy. How about that? Oh wait. Judy. Okay. So there you go. All right. So we're gonna add a little bit of lipstick, because you must. This is the MAC Red. Thank you, MAC. And then I just fill in the Cupid bow. Yeah. Yeah, and this isn't a mole. Where is that? Where is that on that side? Yeah, it's not a mole. Maybe you can't see it. Hallelujah. The lights are so bright. I actually nicked myself while shaving. growing facial hair is a new experience. And then shaving, all of a sudden you're like, oh, should have gone a little bit slower. Okay, so then we add a lovely pigment, a lovely yellow pigment. For the end here, for the crease for the inside of the eye. Again, you might not see it, but I know it's there. And that's part of the experience of getting into your character, right? It's about those little things that really exemplify who you are, your essence, and then what you bring to the table. So I just dab it here, and then I just kind of insert it on the inside. And like I said, I love this primary color story. It really speaks to me. Very Crayola friendly. So then I go in here into this corner, yeah.
Hey folks, seems like we're having some technical difficulties, so just hang on for 1 second and we will get you some video of Josh performing in Napoli in just a second, and hopefully he'll be right back with us.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Thanks, Apple, letting me know how to fix my phone when it just shuts off on you like that. So if you have an 8 Plus, you just hit volume up, volume down, and then you hit the sleep button until it turns back on. I've kind of jokingly, lovingly, affectionately called it my timer for, too much screen time. So thanks, Apple. Here's looking at you, Tim Cook. So I just put on just lovely mascara here from MAC. This is the Extended Play Perm Up Lash. Isn't that something? So make sure your wand is good and wet when you want to apply it. Then you just brush out the excess here. Then you just brush it on. Some people like to do a lovely, here and pull it up, here, pull it up. But, it's all an experiment, just have fun. Just have fun with it. It's makeup. It's supposed to be fun. So, go like this, yeah? Oh, we can't lose our message. This is our message, everybody. You are great. So, then we go in, huh? Yeah. Then we just finish that up there. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. Oh, I love a good stain. But like I said, see, don't worry about it. the lash is going to cover it up. They won't see it, especially if they're looking through the Hubble telescope from wherever it is, something Centauri. So what are we doing next? We're standing flat-footed. Okay, so we go back in with the blush, huh? And then we can just really color in and mellow out that initial line that I drew there. Yeah. And then goes in on the other side there. Yes, it does. Looking great. Love a primary color story. Then we go back in with the liner. Don't forget your wings, huh? If you need to listen to Bette Midler, Wind Beneath My Wings, it's a fabulous quarantine song. It can really get you through, especially when you can't go to the beach. You might as well listen to the beach's soundtrack. Ooh, Jen, thank you for your question. You talked about getting into drag in California. I'm curious when you began training in ballet. Oh, thank you for your question, Jen. So I actually started at a small school, which was across from my elementary school, called the Karen Gibbons School of Dance, when I was going once a week starting at the age of 6. But I didn't really take anything seriously until maybe 13. And then I went to the State Ballet Rhode Island, or the Braycrest School of Ballet in Lincoln, and Eugenia Repelskii, who was the first woman of Rhode Island ballet, started the State Ballet in the 50s. And then afterwards I went to Boston Ballet School for 2 years, and then I went to the San Francisco Ballet School starting at the age of 17. And then I was there for 4 years, and then you can only stay in that school until you're 21. So I was, out of luck after 4 years. So then I just stayed in San Francisco, and I was working at a Starbucks. And then drag came into the picture, and then worked for a time with another drag ballet company called Ballet Grand Diva. And then that segued me into working for Ballet Trockadero, which brings me to today. But I so loved my time at Karen Gibbons School of Dance. Karen Gibbons taught me how to fall in love with movement. Hertzie Marsden and the State Ballet Rhode Island taught me discipline when it comes to rigorously training one's body. And then San Francisco Ballet gave me the ability to not only work on technical ability, but also develop a type of artistry by being able and having access to so many different resources, whether it be going to watch the company perform at the Opera House and being able to stand in standing room while watching as many performances as I wanted, and from numerous choreographers, working with John Neimeier's Hamburg Ballet on a Yandering, which was done by the school during the 75th anniversary season that they celebrated. And yeah, I'm so grateful for all of that. It's wild ride, Jen. So now we have our makeup applied, yes? Now we go ahead and we add the wig. So we're going to do lashes after the wig, because sometimes I put on the lashes and then the wig gets caught in it, and then I'm like, trying to pull it out, and then I pull the lash off anyway. So what's the point, right? So I go ahead and I grab Alice. She got a lovely brushing today. She was a little mad at me because I've been neglecting her since quarantine. So this is Alice. Everybody say hi, Alice. Yeah, we're all busy in the rabbit hole, but here's Alice. So we just go ahead, and I have my headband here. Usually I'd wear a little wig cap, but for today, we're just going to go ahead and flip her on. So there's usually some combs here too, so you can really lock it in place with the combs. Yeah, don't be shy about using the combs. They're there for a reason. Lock it in. That way you can flip it, dip it, potato chip it anyway on the stage, and it doesn't matter. The wig's not gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean? So go ahead and fishing it on. You can look like Cousin It for a while if you want. It's a really nice gesture. If you have Pluto TV, you can watch Addams Family on a loop. It's really nostalgic and calming, very calming. So then you can just, oh, hello, Alice. Hello. So I wet Alice actually before, because I like to wet the wigs, because they always go into a bun. You know, it's always a center part in the bun. That's the Trockadero style. So we just go into my little, I'm here at the steamer trunk, and just go into the drawer here with a little brush, and you just brush her down. I'm gonna collect her into a ponytail, and then shout out to Kevin Garcia, who really instilled the infinity bun in my routine. It really just looks like a heart shape, but we call it the infinity bun. I don't know why. So I just brush her a little bit to get to calm the frizz. Calm the frizz. You can use this. Use a little keratin oil too if you want, or hairspray, just to go ahead and just spritz it in a little bit, you know. And then we'll collect it into a ponytail. Now the oil, you know, it's oil, so it gets a little greasy. So you gotta be careful. So it really helps with keeping in place. So we'll just kind of pull it. You can see that these little hairs get stuck. That's what I mean. It gets stuck in those lashes. So might as well wait till the end to put those on. And then I pull it back. Yeah. And then I add my little tie. And then you can just go ahead and, I think I can just do it once. You know, I don't like to test fate. You know, it's always, especially in 2020, don't test, don't even try it. If anything pops in your head, let any semblance of negative anything, when you're wanting to do something, don't do it. So don't tempt fate. So I pull it back here into two sections on opposing sides. So you can have a lovely, if your wig was long enough, you could have a lovely ponytailed Lady Godiva moment, you know, riding your horse, galloping, riding in the sunset. So then you could take your brush, huh? I like to take the brush, and I just like to brush it out so that from the back, it'll have hopefully similar to its sisters, not twins, when it comes to eyebrows. You know, there might be a fraction of an inch, centimeter, or whatever metric you're using. It's interesting that we say metric when we're also talking about the English system. So so after we brush it, you know, I can already tell that this side's probably going to be bigger. But you know what? It's okay. It is okay. You can take one section. I like to twist and shout. And then after I twist it, I pull it out to the side, you know. And then I roll it in like a fiddle fern. Fiddle fern. Oh, it tastes so good. Oh, I wish I could just make myself right now. Actually, after this, I'm going to make a quiche with a lovely arugula, spinach, and well, I don't have any fiddle ferns, but I can imagine the fiddle fern. Imagination is a wonderful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid to use it. Your imagination can take you anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. You have your imagination. So we go like this, yeah, and then we twist it. And then I grab a pin, yeah. I just position it kind of, I just guide it in. Guide in here, and then I take a lovely pin, you know. Thank you, Bunheads, for these pins. They are the U-shaped pins by Bunhead. Bunheads is absolutely, I'm the Bunhead. They're Bunheads, plural. So I just stick it. I stick it on the end. I kind of go like, kind of zigzag it in. You know, don't be shy. Depending on the frizziness of the wig, will dictate how many pins you use.
Josh, I'm hopping in here because of our technical difficulties. We skipped 15 minutes, and now we are at 5 minutes.
Oh,
so
okay.
We let up a little bit. Okay.
I am almost done. Hey, everybody. So right now, this is crunch time. So remember when I was telling you about crunch time and how, you know, there's different moments where you start deciding what matters and what doesn't. When everything has equal value, you try to give as much equal value as you can. But in the state of being timely, it's always important to take into consideration punctuality, which is a lovely trait that was gifted to me after joining this company. And I love that it was given to me. So we go here, and this is a bun head hairnet. It's just a one thing, one and done. And it's super easy, and it's not going to fit over the bun right now. But that doesn't matter because you don't need to see it. You know it's locked in place because I can do this, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's that. And we're going to go ahead and put on the lashes. I went ahead and I glued several lashes together. And I just, just take it, put a little on your hands here. Just excuse the flatulence coming from the glue bottle. It's not wanting to come out. So we're just going to go ahead and take the lid off, and you just take your pinky and just dab it in. Go ahead and spread it on the lash, yeah. I have another hairnet somewhere. The bun head. So if it turns out that it doesn't work with just the Elastin Easy Peasy Mesh Lemon Squeezy hairnet by Bunheads, Bunhead also makes a fabulous nylon hairnet, which doesn't have the longevity or the durability that these ones have. But when you have to make do, you make do. If you're in the mountains, you might have Mountain Dew. So after you put the glue on, we just kind of blow on that lash, and then we just position it. Now, don't be afraid to get all up in that eyeball, Don't be afraid. And you can just guide it in and just lay it flat, and then just try to keep your eyes slightly open, because if you start closing it, you're going to potentially glue your eye shut. You don't want to glue your eye shut. You have to pirouette and spot your head. You can't spot your head it might be funny. Wouldn't recommend it for safety reasons. So I just blow on it, yeah. And then you just lay it in, yeah. And then sometimes the eyelash doesn't sit properly and it gets a little wonky, yeah. So sometimes you get a little lazy eye, you get a little crooked eye. Again, don't be afraid. You can make that work for you with comedic timing, huh? So we're just going to go ahead and grab our fancy tiara, yeah, because everyone needs a tiara. And you just go ahead and, you want to put it on straight, but I'm not straight, so why should the tiara sit straight, So just kind of sit it in. Then we have our fabulous earring selection. I love a good earring. Ta-da. And now is the question and answer, and I have prepared a lovely microphone for this question and answer. So if there are any other questions that anyone would like to, if anyone needs another reminder to know that you are great, you've been great, yeah, you've been great. And just a shout out to the Chandler Center for organizing this whole thing. It's been an absolute delight getting all dolled up for you this evening. I have a lovely wrap here that I may or may not wear, but I'll go ahead and put over my shoulder, yeah? Just so, going to be a little bit ladylike. But this is pretty much what it takes to get into Trockadero drag. Go ahead and go to give.onecause.com/CCA and donate what you can. The arts are really hurting right now, and we wouldn't be anything without our arts.
Going to unmute myself. And with that, we're going to say thank you. And thank you so much to Josh for taking this time on whatever night this is. What is it? Thursday night? Friday night? Who can tell anymore? Thank you so much for taking time with us on this Thursday night. And with that, we will leave you with a lovely clip of Josh performing The Dying Swan for you this evening. So thank you to the Chandler Center. Thank you, Josh. And we will see you soon.
Bye, y'all.